For the dumb niggas. What's good? I had to do that real quick. The stupid niggas. What's good with y'all, man? Back to pick up where I left off. Last segment. This guess it'll be part 2. Excuse me. Yeah, I guess it'll be part 2. And since I left off talking about the 2 sisters, I had to edit out. I edited their name. I said their names in the last video, but I edited it out because out of respect. I don't know. Even though I am speaking over them in a positive light, I don't know if the sisters want their name just blasted on the internet like that. Maybe when because it's something interesting I wanted to show with the names, but I had to say that for the book or something, and get up with them sisters if I could find them. Well, I know one of them, I don't know the other one that, but if I could find those 2 sisters and see if they cool with that, And while we here, shout out to the black woman, man. I want to apologize to any and every black woman I ever offended out there, you know what I'm saying? I want to apologize, you know what I'm saying? If I ever did something wrong to you. If this ain't enough, you want a personal, more of a, if the blanket apology ain't enough, you want more personal apology, you know what I'm saying? Holler at me. It's nothing, you know what I'm saying? Whether I'm aware of the offense or not, you know what I'm saying? Holler at your boy, man. Because and I want to dedicate, because this whole little segment gonna be kind of dedicated to the black woman. I want to, the picture kind of messed up. Can't find my other one, but shout out to my sister, man, Cassie. Peace be up on her name. Big influence on my life, man. Source of a lot of confidence that I've carried myself with over the years, without me even really knowing it until she passed. You never know. You never know the impact a person have on you until you have to sit back and reflect on some of the things they did for you and said to you, man. She was a big man. She in a better place, to put it in regular human terms. But that was my nigga, man. Well, we'll get into the story, y'all, to hear about it, because we going in that direction anyway, you know what I'm saying? But man, right, if that's one person I know I'll never have to question her loyalty and love for a nigga. Boss status. Now I don't want to say boss mother, because boss is really a, you go back to the mafia and shit. You really want to be a father. So boss was considered a derogatory term. No disrespect to the niggas out there using that terminology, but put y'all up on something. Go read Joe Bonanno book. I think it was Joe Bonanno. One of the I think it was mob father. But because the boss was, the term was, when you look at it, when you're a father, you're speaking as if we're a family, and family is la familia. That's how the original, that's how you want to operate within the understanding that this is a family. But when when you say boss, it's more like a job. It's like you're just a worker. You're not a part of the family. You know what I'm saying? So but no disrespect to all my niggas out there on that boss shit. I understand. We understand the terminology and shit. Niggas just do their thing and run with whatever. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no, it's not a big deal. But I just thought that would be nice to let y'all know. But anyway, with these two sisters, you know what I'm saying, when I was in the 4th grade, and they was like, yeah, we both want to be your girlfriend. And, you know, I was like, wow, this is extraordinary. You know, and it go back to something one of my one of the most influential speakers and teachers that I've ever come across. Used to always say in his lectures, you know what I'm saying? He used to be like, you know, and he was trying to. And when he would say this, he was basically citing how the people who were wherever he was at, listening to him, he was trying to show them that they were there for a reason, that that their meeting wasn't just by chance, you know. But he used to always say, raise your hand if you always felt special your whole life. And I never been to one of his lectures in person, but I understood what he was saying, because you know, not saying I felt better than anybody, because that's what it translated into with the outside, with a lot of the outside world. You had people that just respected the nigga and be like, man, that boy got something going for himself. And then you had some people that used to be like, oh man, or still do, this nigga think he's better than people. And they used to walk up to me and tell me, shit, you think you're better than everybody. I'm like, no, I think highly of myself, but that don't mean I think lowly of you. I'm not an egotistical nigga like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't have no megalomaniac or whatever the fuck they call that shit, complex. You know what I'm saying? I'm not megalomaniac or whatever. But I do. And niggas like me have to have I gotta stick my chest out, because you got niggas and bitches out there that just, they see the glow and they know the glow there, so they gonna do what they gotta do to try to suppress it before you even, they don't know if you feeling yourself or not, but they gonna try to shoot you down off the rip. So I gotta put my chest out and let it be known, like, hey man, yeah, I'm that nigga, I know it. You could be too if you wanted to, if you stop hating on me. But that's neither here nor there. But anyway, you know, it was moments like that with, you know, with these two beautiful young ladies, cause they both was, you know, they both was fly, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, one of them was brown skin and the other one was yellow, high yellow. And I will say this, their names were similar if you was to scramble a few, or replace a few letters in their names, which could be replaced. But yeah, so, but it goes back to the Osiris thing, because you have hieroglyphs of Osiris when he's sitting in between. And this happened again with, you know, these were just two young ladies that, you know, we've done the girlfriend boyfriend thing, nothing sexual in that. We were just in the 4th grade and shit, so don't get to running with that shit like that. But the two, I ended up having the first time I just got into a serious relationship. And I get more into that down the line too, was with a dark skinned chick. I wouldn't say she was my first love, but that was the first time I said, you know what, I'm gonna put the player shit down and do a relationship thing for once and take it serious for once. And then my first love was like a light skinned chick, you know what I'm saying? And she the one that that's why I understand personally, everybody may not believe in love at first sight, but I do, you know what I'm saying, because of my personal experience. So, but we'll get into that later on down the line. But these two sisters though, now when you go back and look at this hieroglyph of Osiris, he has a dog, you know, he has Isis and Nephthys on his side. Now, Isis, see, these symbols, what you have to understand about Egyptian symbolism, and symbolism period, but for the sake of conversation, even the characters that they use are interchangeable and change roles, and that's just like the original version of the devil, Set or Soot. Originally, just like in when you go to the biblical thing and they tell you about how the devil fell, he was first an angel, then he fell. That story in a nutshell just represents your soul. Your soul, God put it like this: the spirit of you would be what the devil was, or so your soul would be the devil when he was an angel. The God that you think that you're supposed to be praying to was the one that said, hey, I got this physical body. See, this the demiurge God is see, when you look at the God of the Old Testament, when they say, oh, I'm a jealous God, the jealous God is the God that created this physical matrix, which is an illusion. And he wants you to only be satisfied with this, what you can touch, taste, feel, and things that you only can perceive with your 5 physical senses. Because you got to think about what the fuck, how are you jealous? What are you jealous of? If you God, that's how you know it's something missing out the story. We don't go too far into that, but I do some videos on that to break down. I'm not saying that it ain't already out there, but this is just for the people that's coming into this via me, or the people whose first time hearing this type of information is through what I'm saying or through my lecture or breakdown or whatever. But the falling of how the devil became a devil. The symbolism is this: the devil as an angel was your soul. Your soul was put into a physical body. This physical body that you have is a jail. You're here to figure out things so that you can free yourself from the bondages of your lower nature and your physical body. Every time you come here and you don't do that on earth, you come back until you figure it out. That's the mystery of this shit. But so when they say you would not worship another God outside of me, what it's basically what they're saying is worship the physical world. Don't worship, because the real God is inside you. So just like the physical world, what's the word I'm looking for? It demands your attention. Just like if you got a woman who's jealous or whatever, or even a man in some cases, but a woman who wants your attention fully on her all the time. That's the way the physical world is, because you gotta pay bills, you gotta eat, sleep, you gotta do so many things that pertain to the physical. It makes it hard for you to sit down and meditate and do spiritual work, because you have to wrestle with the things of the physical, fleshly world. So where the fuck did that come? All this shit come in at all right, well, let me just get to the point. We'll get into that one other day. But anyway, you got these two sisters. You got Osiris sitting in the middle of these two sisters. But and these are interchangeable. So I'm just gonna give you one representation or one meaning of this symbolism of Osiris sitting in between these two sisters. Now, Osiris and Heru are one and the same. Osiris is the father, Heru is the son, but they one and the same. That's why in the Bible Jesus says, I and the Father are one, because Jesus is nothing more than a later day version of Heru, you know. And this book right here, man, excellent book. This guy just shows you all the parallels. By now you should know that the hieroglyphs and all the ancient Kemetic teachings predate the Bible. So you should know that by now. That should be known. If you don't know that by now, you need to be finding out. But this guy in this book breaks down, and this is the book I'm gonna use to show you that even though we all are of the Christ consciousness, this book is the book I'm going to use to show and prove that all these texts that was speaking about a Messiah who's to come, all those things that I am that. This is the book I'm gonna use. I can use other books too, but I'm gonna use this one right here. But this book it shows you all the different parallels of Horus and Jesus, and it shouldn't be hard after you read what this guy said in this book to understand that Heru is that Jesus comes from Heru. The word Christ Yeah, it's many different forms of it. Christ comes from the caress mummy. Um, the mummy. When you see the mummies in Egypt, um, those are called the caress mummy. CRST. You got many different. That's another version of Christ. You got Christ, Christ, all the Christ, Christos, Christomelos, all that just refers to Christ. Christ just means one who's anointed. When you take a baby to get christened, they rub oil on the forehead right here, right? Well, that is a reenactment of a process that takes place in your body. When your Kundalini energy raises up, goes up your spine, it illuminates all 7 of the chakras that run up your spine. When it strikes your pineal gland, the pineal gland secretes melatonin. Melatonin travels to the heart. The heart distributes it throughout the whole body. When it distributes it throughout the whole body, the oil that you see, sometimes you can even see like on my forehead. Sometimes, you know, after I got the shower and I clean, you know, I'm squeaky clean. You'll see I can see like a shine right here. You know what I'm saying? But when they christen the baby and put the oil on the forehead, that is a reenactment of the pineal gland secreting the melatonin to crystallize the body. So when you get the mummy, the caress mummy, what happens is the body that's being mummified, even though in the physical world it's a dead body, but the symbolism of the mummy is this: the physical body, in this case of the mummification, the physical body would be aching to the soul. The bandages wrapped around the physical body would be aching to the physical body or the flesh. So when the pineal gland secretes this melatonin is morally and spiritually stimulating. Stimulate means to make active. So the more melatonin you producing, the more spiritual you are. The more spiritual you become, the less attention you pay to the physical world. So you start to die to the physical world, or the physical world starts to die out to you. When this melatonin is secreted throughout your whole body, it illuminates your whole body. You'll feel a warm tingling feeling all throughout your body. That is your melanin. That is light particles rising out of the melanin that's inside of you. That's why when they used to mummify people, they used, in order to, they would have the body, and then they would either use tree sap or they would use honey to make the bandages stick. They would cover the body in honey, which is a golden color. Gold is the color of the soul. Or they would use tree sap, and then they would use one bandage to wrap around the whole body, and that would represent, because you had 2 types of mummies. You had a mummy that's laying flat out dead. That's the Osiris mummy, dead in the mental. And then you'll see another one where the mummy is standing straight up. When you see the mummies in cartoons standing up, the standing up or the erection represents the rise of the soul. So once you mummify the body and wrap it up, you had the gold soul inside on the actual body. Then they wrap the body with the bandage, and then they'll sit it upright, or they'll have it depicted upright. The upright represents the resurrection. The mummy laying flat represents the dying, or you coming into this physical body. When you come to this physical body, you have to resurrect yourself. When you resurrect, you raise up and you become the Osiris mummy. You know what I'm saying? That's where the whole mummification process comes from, because once the pineal gland secretes this melatonin and your whole body illuminates and takes the color of the golden color inside of you, the golden color inside of you is what corresponds to the honey that they use to mummify the body. And the more and more you secrete this melatonin, the more and more your spiritual self wakes up and your physical self dies off symbolically. You know what I'm saying? So that's what in a nutshell what the mummification process was dealing with. But anyway, you got these two sisters. Now one on one hand you can look at it as series A, B, and C. But I'll give it to you like this, because I don't want one example of what that represents is this. Just like Christ has, let's see what we look like on time. It's not saying. Okay. Anyway, okay, so you have, just like Jesus in the Bible had Mary, and you had Mary Magdalene. Mary Magdalene was the prostitute, and you had Mary, which was the mother. Now even in Kemet you have the Mary, you know. So even the name Mary comes from Egypt, even though it's being used in a Christian or biblical form or biblical context. Excuse me. But you have these two sisters. You have the dark. They two aspects of the feminine energy, of the feminine energy. So you have Isis. She's the light sister. You know, so she nourishment and feminine nature or feminine energy. Nourishment falls under the category of feminine. The reason being is because when you come out that goddamn womb, originally, now we drink out of bottles and all this shit, but originally when you came out that womb, and really while you was in the womb, who nourished you? Your mother. You got your nourishment through her. Then when you came out the womb, you latched onto the breast and drunk breast milk from your mother. So she represents nourishment. That's why that's why the cow is one of the Hathor. That's why it's one of the symbolism, one of the animals that symbolize the woman, because you know, the nourishment of the milk and all that. So with Isis is the light sister. Then you have the dark sister, which is Nephthys. Nephthys corresponds to the dark maid servant in Solomon's tale. When you go look at Solomon in the Bible or whatever. But to take it a little deeper, Isis represents, she corresponds to, like I told you, is two aspects of Osiris. You got the green Osiris and the black Osiris, right? Okay. So when you got Osiris sitting in the middle of these two women, one of them represents his green aspect, which is his physical life. One of them represents the spiritual, or whether spirit do it, the dark side of him. Not dark side in a bad way, but the dark side of him. I dig. You get nourishment in two forms of nourishment. You got physical nourishment, which I told y'all in the other video, prosperity, nourishment, plant life, chlorophyll, all this deals with the color green. That's why when you look over there in Ireland and you see Notre Dame. Notre Dame means Our Fair Lady or Our Lady. Dame means lady, you know. So if you hear me call you a dame, don't take it the wrong way. Like, look at that dame. I know it could sound like some derogatory shit, but you know what I'm saying? It ain't. Shout out to my Crown Royal bag, green and yellow. Fighting Irish, baby. Eilish. But anyway, Isis would correspond to Osiris's advent, I would say, or she would correspond to the green part of him, which deals with the vegetation. So Isis is Mother Nature. Speaking of which, We're gonna deal with some Isis right here. We're gonna deal with some Isis right here. Isis, Virgin of the World. Let's see what this book has to say about Isis. You know what I'm saying? You see, I'm not making this shit all about me either in this video, even though it is about me, but I'm trying to teach you niggas some shit too, so you won't think I'm just a nigga out here trying to grandstand in front of y'all and make it like I'm just the, you know I'm that nigga. And don't forget that. I just fuck with y'all. I am that nigga though. But hold on. So let's see. Let's see what I can use as a good example. Okay, we'll go right here. See right here, this book, he's saying, this is Secret Teachers of All Ages. He's saying, in all probability, meaning he's not sure, in all probably, Osiris represents the third or material aspect of solar activity, which by its beneficent influences vitalizes and enlivens the flora and fauna of Earth. Flora and fauna, flora meaning plant life, fauna meaning, if I'm not mistaken, fauna meaning, flora for sure means plant life, fauna I think it means like physical, like animal life. But Osiris is not the sun, but the sun is symbolic of the vital principle of nature, which the ancients knew as Osiris. This is what I was looking for. Glad I bumped into it. Break that down. Okay, I'm read it again. Osiris is not the sun, but the sun is symbolic of the vital principle of nature. Osiris is the vital principle of nature. So what he's telling you right here is, when you look at that sun in the sky, that sun is an illusion. The sun is symbolic of the hidden forces that radiate from the sun. The sun is just a shield. It's a hologram. It's the benefits that we get from it come from a hidden place. That's why you don't see, when you see a tree growing or you see a plant growing out the ground, you don't see what's moving it. You don't see nobody pull. You don't see the energy that's moving it. That goes back to like the wives of Amen. Amen means the hidden one. The wives would be the physical body. Amen, who marries the wives, would be the soul. The soul is the hidden part of you that marries or become. Marriage just means to become one. The soul marries the physical body. A chemical romance or a spiritual romance. But the sun you see in the sky is just a reflection of the spiritual energy that Osiris represents. The symbolism of Osiris. So when you see Osiris, it's not Osiris represents the sun. Osiris is the energy, the hidden energy that the sun produces. The part you don't see. He's not the sun. Even though he's associated with the sun, he's a sun god. Because they call him a sun god because his significance is attached to the sun, but he's not the sun. The sun is symbolic of him because he's the hidden energy. Okay. Now, Osiris is not the sun, but the sun is symbolic. But the sun is symbolic of the vital principle of nature, which the ancients knew as Osiris. That's why I was telling y'all the other day, the process, the whole, because one of the things Osiris represents is the laws of nature. You don't see the laws of nature. You see the actions of the laws of nature. Well, you see them, but okay, like I said, you got a seed. The whole process, taking the seed, digging the hole, everything that needs to be done, all the laws that need to be followed in order for that seed to be grown into whatever it's going to grow to be, all of that falls up under Osiris. That is Osiris. You know what I'm saying? The whole process. So, you know, you can say that that's the botany, the botanicals on one hand. Okay, so his symbol therefore was an open eye. That's where the watch the throne comes. That's another thing I wanted to share with y'all. Isis is her hieroglyphic representation is a throne, and Osiris's hieroglyphic representation is an eye over the throne. That's why Jay-Z them had that, and Kanye had the Watch the Throne tour. Watch the throne, the eye over the throne. The eye represents the spiritual nature that sits in the physical body, or the eye represents the soul that sits in the physical body. The physical body, or physical world period, which houses the soul, is Isis. Isis is represented by a chair because the soul sits inside of the chair, or inside of the physical body, or the physical manifestation of the world. That's why I said watch the throne. You know what I'm saying? That's why when Kanye came out with that kilt on, and niggas like, oh, you on some gay shit. No, so I can find it. The Egyptian king. That's one of his signs of royalty, the kilt. It's not a fucking skirt or no girl shit. Now, I'm not talking about the shit these rapper niggas is doing with wearing dresses and shit, because they on some other shit. But what Kanye was doing was telling you niggas, I am Osiris, I'm the fucking king. It's me, niggers, us, or whatever the fuck. But he was trying to tell you niggas like, I'm a king. That's why I watch the throne. Oh, man, there's a picture in here with a Egyptian king. He's white, but you'll get the picture. If I can find this motherfucker, I don't want to waste too much time looking for this shit. But it should be. Around here somewhere. Anyway, man, I'm not finna fuck out too much time looking for this shit. Go just Google a fucking Kemetic king and shit. They'll have damn kilt on. Shit should be in here though, man. I mean, it shouldn't be that fucking far from ISIS and shit. But anyway, man, excuse the language. I'm gonna have to do another one of these. I want y'all, I know y'all niggas be scared to let your kids. You might as well, you let your kids watch everything else, fuck it. But I really was trying to be easy on the cussing, because I wanted y'all niggas to let your kids watch this shit. You know, you just have to, you might have to do this one again. A censored version. But anyway, modern science has proved, his symbol therefore was an open eye in honor of the great eye of the universe, the sun. Opposed to the active, this is masculine, active, radiant principle of impregnating fire, heat, and motion. Fire, heat, and motion all falls under the masculine principle. And that's what I was telling y'all in that other video about when I was breaking down the birth of the sun in the Christmas video, which I'm gonna go more into detail with that whole thing too. So, you know, just bear with me. I'm kicking this shit off. But modern science has proved that opposed to the active radiant principle of impregnating fire, heat, and motion was the passive. Opposed to the active radiant principle of impregnating fire, heat, and motion was the passive receptive principle of nature. That goes back to what I was just telling y'all on the other video too. The feminine energy is passive and receptive. So in a sexual intercourse, in sexual intercourse, with a man and a woman having sex, that's why the man is more active. He's, for the most part, he's doing the pumping, and then the sperm shoots out and it's traveling. The egg is passive and receptive. The sperm is giving off the energy when it comes into contact with the egg. The egg is just passive. It absorbs the energy and forms the baby and all that inside. Opposed to the active radiant principle of impregnating fire, heat, and motion was the passive receptive principle of nature. So basically what it's saying is the opposition or the opposite of the masculine energy represented by radiancy and heat is a passive receptive principle of nature. Nature being the feminine. Nature is the physical world, Mother Nature. That's Isis. You know what I'm saying? Modern science has proved that forms ranging in magnitude from solar systems to atoms are composed of positive, radiant nuclei surrounded by negative bodies that exist upon the emanations of the central life. So, just like you have an atom, in the center of that atom, you have the what we were just saying, the nuclei, and then you have the proton, you have the proton, 6 protons, 6 what is it? 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons, something like that. Anyway, in the atom, you got the radiant sun that sits in the middle, and then you have the shit revolving around it, electrons or whatever the fuck. I don't want to steer you wrong, but so when you look at Osiris sitting in the middle, he represents that radiant nuclei, and he has these two negative bodies, or these two feminine energies that's emanating from him on the side of him. You got his green aspect, which corresponds to the earth. You know what I'm saying? The earth is what nourishes us. We get our nourishment from the earth, the green life of the earth. Like I said, that's why when you look at, that's why green in Ireland and all that is so significant, because green is a color of prosperity and it's a color of nourishment. So Isis symbolizes the physical nourishment that we get here on earth. Just like the green Osiris represents the green Osiris represents the hidden forces of the sun that nourishes this green life that we need in order to survive. The dark sister, which is Nephthys, she symbolizes spiritual nourishment, because spiritual nourishment comes from the dark. Light comes from the dark. So that's why when you want to know the answer to a question, you say when you're saying is, when they say in the beginning was the word, that's the word they're talking about. Is the holy word. That's why when you're trying to figure something out, you say because is the vibration that kicked off everything into the physical. So we naturally say and go back into that. You go into ignorance. You have two types of ignorance. You have ignorance and you have ignorance of ignorance. Now, if you're just ignorant, you fucked up because you don't give a fuck. But see, when you're ignorant of your ignorance, then you're brave enough to say, hey, I'm ignorant of whatever. We all ignorant of something, but you're able to say, I'm ignorant. I don't want to be ignorant. Let me go find out what the fuck I'm ignorant of. And the ignorance of your ignorance is what propels you to go and find out shit. That goes back to what I was telling y'all in the other video about the curious mind, or the inquisitive, inquisitive mind. Now, when you would know it all, just like when I be going back and forth with motherfuckers, and they know it all, like when I'm arguing with somebody about the Bible, and oh no, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, no, you haven't studied nothing outside the Bible. They'll tell me I'm the know-it-all, but really, they're the know-it-all, because they're saying, no, nothing, I read this, and outside of this, nothing is true. Well, you're saying you know it all. You're saying everything you know is in that book, and there's nothing outside of that book that's valid. So you're saying you already know it all. Because if you didn't know it all, or if you didn't think you knew it all, you'd be going out trying to figure it out. Not knowing it all. Just like in the nation of God and earth, we say the black man is he who knows all things in existence. It's not to take that literally. To know means to be one with something. That's why knowledge is the first. That's why knowledge is number one in the supreme mathematics. When you're one with something, it's in you. You have to look for it. It's just like I can have something in this house, and it can be in this house without me knowing where the fuck is at. So what I got to do? I got to go look for it. Same thing with inside of you. All answers to questions lie within you. It just depends on how hard you're going to look within yourself to find them, and how much confidence you have in yourself to find them. Because if I don't think, that's just like right now, I know it's some shit. I got a shirt missing and it's not in here. Guess what? I'm not gonna look for it in here because I know where I left the motherfucker at. So I'm confident enough to know it's not in this house. So I know not to look for it. But if you're, say you want the answer to something, but you don't think it's in you, and your confidence in you thinking that it's not in you, it's just like the confidence in me, which I know my shirt isn't here. If your confidence is equal to my confidence, you're not gonna look inside yourself. You're just gonna say, fuck it. But anyway, the dark sister, Neptys, she's the dark maid servant. That's the where you get your spiritual information from, because you have to go into the dark to get the light. You know what I'm saying? Everything can't, like I was saying in the other video, all things come from darkness. Light, the light that you see right now is the physical world that you see in front of you is it's an illusion. It's white light. It's electricity. Everything you see is nothing more than electrical impulses being sent to your brain. Your mind configures, excuse my Mike Tyson-ness, but your mind configures, no disrespect, Mike, don't beat a nigga up when you see me, but your mind, like I'm looking at this door, really what I'm seeing, and this is what the nigga told him, Morpheus told Neo in the Matrix. He said, what's real? He say, if you're going off what your five senses tell you is real, then all that is electrical impulses being sent to your brain, and your brain or your mind configures these electrical impulses into the shapes you think you're looking at. So I'm looking at this camera, but really what I'm seeing is electrical impulses being sent to my eyes. My mind is transforming this shit into a camera to where it's like, okay, that's a camera. The hidden light is the true light, the light that's in the dark. Once you pull the light from the dark, just like everything starts as a thought, an ideal in your head. It's the realest place something can exist is in your mind. Once you take whatever you're trying to invent in your mind, once you bring it into the physical world by using physical things to make it happen, it dies. It becomes fake. You bring it back to life, just like this cup. They say we never had a cup in life before. And I said, you know what, I'm tired of drinking out this damn river with my hands. Let me figure something out. When I configure the cup in my mind, it's in its realest place, because the invisible, and that's the other thing that Neptys represents, the invisible aspect of the feminine energy. But when I create it in my mind, it's in the darkness. It's hidden. Now I said, okay, well, let me do what I need to do to make this shit come into fruition. So I go get whatever clay I need or whatever I'm gonna build the cup out of, shape it, and I bring it into fruition. Now let's say I do that, and then I just leave that cup right there. So I don't like that one. It's a cup, but I don't like it. I'm gonna make another one. I just leave that one. And I go way to the other side of the world and make a new one. And then somebody else comes and find that cup that doesn't know nothing about cups. They find this cup and they don't know what the fuck it is. They're like, fuck I'm gonna do with this? To them it's dead because it has no meaning. They don't know what to do with it. But when they understand what the symbol of the cup is, or when they figure out what to use the cup for, they bring it back to life because you get used to it. That's why they say a symbol is dead to somebody who doesn't know what it means. But once you come into the understanding of the symbol, you resurrect it. So the dark sister symbolizes the dark maid, so she symbolizes the hidden place, and they represent a lot of different things. That's why I say these symbols, they're multi-layered and multi-meaning. It's not, they don't just mean one. Like I'm giving you one, somebody else can come and give you just as valid of an explanation from their perspective and from what they done studied this shit, and it'll be just as valid. But the feminine energy symbolizes nourishment. And these are just two different aspects. The darkness is where the spiritual nourishment comes from. The light sister, which is Isis, who represents Mother Nature, she symbolizes she symbolizes the physical nourishment, you know. So that's what that is, you know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you all this because of the two sisters, the light-skinned sister and the dark-skinned sister that approached me in the 4th grade. 4 is the number of Isis. 4 is the number of Mother Nature. Why? Because earth, wind, water, and fire are the 4 elements that it takes to bring the physical world here. That's why Isis is that's why she's her number is 4 in the square. The square symbolizes physical existence. That's why here, this is Isis. They got her white, you know, but she would be black in reality, but we ain't going there. But you see the square she's holding. In the sistrum, the other thing in her hand is a sistrum. She makes music with that. Music equates to vibration. Vibration is one of the laws. It's one of the 7 Hermetic principles, which we'll get into in one of my next videos coming up. But the square 4th grade. So I thought that was interesting. You know, that's like I was saying, these ancient Kemetic deities and gods or whatever, they are all parts of your psychology, and they speak to you through certain occurrences and experiences in your life. But you have to be privy of the information in order to be able. That's why retrospection in this book somewhere, I can't remember where, but it says retrospection is key to spirituality. And it's funny because I read that in this book, and then when I first got out of jail, I had to go to Alcoholics Anonymous, AA, and I read that shit in this book, and then I went. I wasn't an alcoholic. That's just some shit you got to do in parole and shit. But I went right after I read that shit in this book. I went to this class, and this lady said the same thing, paraphrase, but she said the same thing. Memory is and spirituality go hand in hand. She said something like that, and I said, "Well, damn, I just read that," and that's right because, like I said, I didn't know all this stuff about Osiris and Egypt before I went to jail. When I went to jail, it's when I found out all these things are different components of you or me, or all of us, but in this case, me. So once I learned that, I started to look back and see how my life paralleled all these different mythologies. And that's what you want to do. You want to be able to learn this stuff and then look at your life and retrospect on your life and find, don't make them up. I ain't making this shit up. I retrospect. But you want to be able to find parallels between your life and these mythologies. You know what I'm saying? And you can, I never got an official reading. Yeah. But that's what, you know, when you're going to get readings, I would imagine that's what they do. You know, they find out which, I'm going to go get one though, because I need, you know what I'm saying? But I be putting a lot of this shit together on my own. But I imagine that's what they do. They find out what type of which deities predominate your psychology, because they all are in your psyche, but some predominate. That's why I'm focusing on the Osiris thing, Osiris, Isis, and Heru, because these 3 predominate me, but they're not the only ones. I know I spot the other deities and stuff that dwell within me too, on my site too. But these 3 were the key that opened me up. So and they all represent us, you know. Like I say, Osiris represent the black. I'm gonna read some shit from brother Naeem Akbar in a little bit. Brilliant book, man. It's not small, but it's a brilliant book. where he break down the symbolism of Osiris. But Osiris just represents the black man. Osiris, Heru, and Isis, that's the black family or the family. Osiris is the man. Isis the black woman. Heru the black child. Just like in the nation of the gods on earth, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Knowledge being the black man, wisdom being the black woman, understanding being the black child or whatever, or the child or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna go from here. All right, back to my life and shit. That part. Anyway, so I just thought that was interesting. I wanted to use that as one example of how I was manifesting the Osirian energy when I didn't know nothing about Osiris. Anyway, at the time, like I said, I was staying in Ravencrest on Forum West. Now I'm from Forum Park, Forum West, and another interesting thing too is I built this city. These aliens. No niggas ain't gonna like that, but I'll fuck that. I'm gonna show you niggas some shit. These niggas be thinking I just be woofing and woofing and woofing. I'll show you niggas something. All right. Now, on my strip, well, in my hood, I'm from Forum Park, Forum West. This is the main street. I hope y'all can see that. This is Bissonnet. Forum Park comes off of Bissonnet. Goes down and then it curves and turns into Forum West. Now my hood sat right on that curve, Ravencrest. That's some apartments. They're not their name anymore, but Ravencrest. And they sit on Forum West. They curve right here. Now, for one, this is a crook. Now, it's a crook. So I represent Forum Park and Forum West. Don't get it twisted. But Forum West is just a little dear to me because that's where headquarters was there for us. But that's a crook. And that's a bad drawing of it. But that's a crook. That's a candy cane. That's a crest. Because the crest is nothing more. Raven crest means raven is a bird, a black bird. Crest is the top of a bird's head, or the top of the head. The crest would be right here. We're gonna get funky tonight. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Niggas think it's a game. This is the crest. Top of the hook. Y'all can see that. There's Osiris. This is the crook, the candy cane. This the top of the this is the crook. Osiris and the crook. And the flail. He's the good shepherd. The shepherd carries a crook and a flail to keep order amongst his sheep. Ravencrest on Forum West. So Ravencrest would be the crest, the Christ. The Christ. And I'm telling you right now, this whole story is based on me being the Christ. I'm from Ravencrest. The black crest. The blackness of the pineal gland. The crest. The Christ, the Christianing on Forum West. Who is Osiris? Osiris is the Westerner. It was a prophecy that in ancient Egyptian prophecy, and ancient civilization period prophecy, that there would be a great meeting in the West. Mayat represents justice. The scales. Mayat will be established in the West. You go look at that picture, everybody think it's just a fucking that picture on my Instagram page that everybody think, and in my YouTube box thing, in my YouTube profile, that everybody think is just a fucking, which you, yeah, that too, you can see the pumpkin head and shit, jack-o'-lantern. But when you look at it from the right angle, you see a woman with some damn afro puffs in a black robe, Maya, establishing justice in the West. Osiris is called the Westerner. The Westerner. Pop, he's of that energy. Me, I'm from the Southwest. I throw up the West. I was born just like the sun travels from the east to west. It travels from the east to west through the southern sky. So it travels from the southeast through the south to the southwest and sets on the west. Southeast to southwest. I was born and dead in. Osiris corresponds to death. The Osiris dead, laid out in the mental. He resurrects and rises up. And the fall of the, on one hand, the sun setting represents the death of Osiris, but the rise of the fall of the physical sun, or the setting of the physical sun, gives way to the rise of the spiritual sun, because the spiritual sun is the unseen sun, right? Okay, like I was just telling you earlier, when the sun sets, you see its energy still from the reflection of the moon. So you don't see the physical sun no more, but the invisible part of the sun is still seen reflected off the moon. So that's where you get your whole Nefer part of Osiris, the moon Osiris. But you know, these are the things you have to look for. Raven crest sits on form west. Raven Christ, the crest being the top of the head. Crest and Christ are synonymous, because to become the Christ, your head has to be anointed with the melatonin. Christening. So when you christen your head, when you take, like I say, when you take your baby to get christened, they rub the oil on the forehead. That is just the representation of the pineal gland secreting the oil or the melatonin from the pineal gland and christening your body, or creating a christening or crest mummy. You get it? And I don't expect everybody to get it right then and there, but just take it home or sit on this and think about it. But I was going somewhere with that. What the fuck was I gonna say? Yeah, but the crest, you know. So that was our block, 10,003, 10003. 1, 3 ciphers, and 3. Knowledge and understanding are one and the same. Knowledge is Osiris. Understanding, which is 3, is Heru. Knowledge and understanding all being born to culture freedom. Freedom. We was running wild and free in them streets. We was young niggas, but we was free. Freedom. Shout out to my niggas, man. All my homies, they no longer roll. See a nigga at the crossroads. Ain't the ones that do. I, you know, man, love all my niggas, man. Despite the ups and downs. But 10,003 Form West Raven Creek. And we was always, you know, we was representing that shit since 9-3. Like now it's associated with Crips and all that. No disrespect to that. But you know, now it's kind of cool to represent Form. But you know, 9-3, we was representing that shit. All the other blocks had already made a name. And you know, niggas still, when I went to jail in 03, niggas still didn't even, you know, I'd be in that bitch, they'd be like, where you from? I'd be like, I'm from Form. Niggas be like, what the fuck that said? And I'd be like, across the street from Woodfell. Woodfell was a little bit more popular block. I'd be like, oh, okay, well, I know it yet. You know what I'm saying? But by the time I came home, it was, where you from? Form. He one of them Crip niggas. Like,